All right. What's going on, everybody? This is WTTL. Welcome to the League Sports
League.
Show. I'm Ezra
I'm Beanie,
and Beanie.
and this is week 3
Man,
already.
week three. Week
We
three,
almost
week
been the
three,
season
week
for a
three.
month.
So one, I'm getting my football fix. And then two, dude, the NFC West, the NFC East. Here, let me just shorten this. The NFC.
It's wide
when
open.
when we said that the flux or the shift in power was with all these free agent signings and trades and all this other stuff during the off season, was going to make a big difference. I didn't think it was going to make this big of a difference. I knew it was
Yeah,
going to be
me
huge, but
neither.
not this huge. I mean, like you look at the landscape of the NFC, and it's wide open, man.
Yeah,
After
but
two
you're starting
weeks,
to see the favorites and the ones that are going to be the more highly competitive teams in the NFC. It's not as
yeah,
competitive as it used to be, but you're starting to see it separated from the rest of the crowd.
yeah. I think we probably got about another 2 weeks before we really see who the elite and premier teams of the NFC are. But like you look at the NFC West, everybody's at 500. Everybody's at 500. Um, yeah, everybody's at 500.
Most of,
Rams 500, Arizona 500. I think they're at 500. Either way it goes, I mean, you would think after
yeah,
2 weeks
Arizona's at
that Rams would
500, I
probably
think.
be like 2-0. Even though they face the Bills. But say that again. I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, I think Arizona is at 500. I
Yeah,
mean, there's nobody really running away with anything. There's a couple 2-0 teams in there that are like, but they're no surprise. Is really look at the NFC North that has no 2-0, has nobody that's undefeated anymore. I don't think because
yeah.
they all lost this week.
So
Who were
look, check this
undefeated?
out. I gotta throw this in here real quick. So I'm not gonna say what time it is that we're recording or anything like that, but haven't eaten today, right? And I have like the best wife in the world, dude. It's late, and if you hear that sizzle sound in the back, my wife is cooking us dinner. So
Man,
sounds of the studio, man. Sounds of the studio.
yeah.
And I'm not. Yeah, no, I appreciate my wife, dude. Just throw that out there for anybody with a wife. Appreciate your wife, even in front of everybody. And I promise I'm not saying it just to get cool points or honey points or anything like that. Just appreciative. Um, but no, man, it's crazy. So what was your what's your take on the NFC? And you can take even one of your squads because it's a lot of stuff I'm seeing over 2 weeks that you called it before the season started, before all these trades and stuff happened, especially with the NFC East. Yeah, I think you some kind of guru, man.
I don't know, man. Some things I might have called, but I did not get the right picks this week. We'll talk about that in the pick segment. My picks was horrible. I think I went 2-3.
Hold up, dude. My picks were, I think I was about 500 on my picks. So I'm at
You
my
did
at
better than
my
me.
I'm at my mom's house. We have some family issues and stuff going on that we're taking care of, but I'm at my mom's house, and so my 3-year-old niece Liberty, shout out to Liberty. My 3-year-old niece Liberty is there, and she was like, "Uncle, what you doing?" And and so I show her the games, and so she just started pointing at the screen and this one, that one, so on and so forth. How about after we got finished with all these picks, 3-year-old niece called the Jets. She said they're gonna win, bruh. The Jets won by 1 point.
Yeah, because Cleveland didn't know how to just run the clock out.
So we picked. Let's see, my niece picked 7 games.
Oh
I think
wow.
it was seven
I mean, we only
games.
picked 5.
Yeah, no, she picked out of 7 games. She was 5-2. She's 3 years old. I may need to
You
start
might need
doing
to
a
talk to
segment.
her before you make your picks the next
I
couple
know,
weeks.
right? I know. Dude, when I tell you, it's like, okay, I need to call Liberty. I'm gonna see her again. I think tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see her again tomorrow. So I may have her to throw in some more pics. I may edit video. I may edit the video and stuff to add her in there. You know, this week's of Liberty's picks.
There you go.
But yeah, but man, she
She can
called
keep
the
up with us
Jets,
this
dude.
season.
Of
I
all
mean,
teams,
nobody
she
called
called
the
the Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think that was like one of the biggest surprise games, but we'll talk about that a little bit later
Yeah, when we talk
in
about the
our pick
recap, like I
section.
was like shocked. Talking about
Yeah.
recaps, I was shocked. I think the most shocking game this week, without a shadow of a doubt, was the fact the Ravens blew the lead to Miami.
Oh man, no. My thing is fantasy
I don't
points.
know if Miami's that good or the Ravens were just that bad at that moment.
No,
I'm still not a believer in Miami though.
I think Miami is starting to come alive, bro.
Yeah,
I
but I need
do.
to see more
I,
to believe in them.
I believe Baltimore is still that good. I think that Tua is finally one. You got to look at. He has new coach. He has
He's
more
got one of the
weapons.
fastest wide receivers in the league.
You're right. He's got more weapons. He's got the weapons that he already had that were good. And just imagine, I'm put it like this: Miami this year is looking like an elite team, especially after this week too. The defense is still, it is what it is.
We'll see what they call him. We still call him elite after week 3.
But I know, right? They got to play the Bills.
They got to play the
But
Bills. Let's see
but
how that goes.
you look at them, and then you look at Detroit. Detroit only lost
I told you
what? They're
Detroit
0
was going to
2.
surprise people today.
They're 0 2, but dude,
This year
they're
they're
not losing
surprising.
games by much. If their
Are they
defense could
0
come in
2? I
and make
thought
a
they were
couple of
higher
extra
than that.
stops these past 2 weeks, Detroit's looking like Super Bowl contender, or at least playoff contender.
Now you're going too far.
I said if the defense were to,
Detroit's not
get a
0
couple.
2. The research department just sent me a message, send it over. Detroit's 1-1. They're 500.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I told you Detroit was going to be one of them. Well, you said it. You said in the
Yeah,
preseason, Detroit was going to be one of them surprising teams in the North.
yeah, I did. I called. I called.
I think everybody in the
So
North is 1-1.
so I think you called the East. I called the North. I
Yeah.
said that Green Bay was going to split a game with Minnesota. That's already happened. That's already happened. Now, if Minnesota takes the second game, that's above and beyond what I would think would happen between Minnesota and Green Bay. But
The way Minnesota played, though, man, I don't see them taking the second game.
and I think Aaron Rodgers is slightly behind Patrick Mahomes in the respect that they have similar situations where they're trying to get to know their wide receiver core. But I think Patrick Mahomes is a little bit further ahead just off of how you saw him play this past week and the first week. And it when you look at Aaron Rodgers, I think he's starting to get it, and he's gonna this week coming up, he gets Lazard back. So he has a little bit of a safety blanket or a safety net um
If they
to
keep playing like they are, the NFC North might be a little bit more competitive than we originally thought at the beginning of the season.
oh, most definitely, dude.
Because every team in the NFC North is 500.
Most definitely.
After
Uh,
2 weeks, they've each 1-1.
right now, if everybody keeps playing the way they are, and I'm actually gonna excuse the Rams from this conversation because the Rams have had the top and bottom of the totem pole when it comes to teams. And I'm sorry, Atlanta, I'm not trying to throw shade,
Yeah,
but
you are.
when you look at the Rams play this past Sunday. They had that game. They actually played like Atlanta in the fourth quarter. The Rams played the Rams played the Rams played like Atlanta in the fourth quarter, even with a Cooper Cup fumble. They played like now. Do I think Cooper Cup will fumble again this season? Nah, I don't think he'll do that. He's not that type of player. If he does, it's something going on.
Yeah.
But the Rams defense played like until the end of the game, the last snap, where Aaron Donald got a fumble recovery and closed the game out. But the fourth quarter, they played like Atlanta. And if they continue to play like that on defense, don't secure the ball and all that other stuff. This is not the playoffs anymore. The Super Bowl's over with, all that other stuff.
Super Bowl hangover.
I don't even think it's a hangover. I
Do
think
you
it's a
believe it's
chemistry.
Super Bowl hangover?
No, I'm not saying I don't think they're having a hangover. I think they're going through a chemistry situation because
Okay.
when you look at it, you lost Von Miller.
Yeah.
Once you get chemistry with somebody over the course of a few weeks, you're good. They lost Von, they lost Sebastian Joseph Day, um they lost a lot of people, dude. You lose Robert Woods, even though Robert Woods
Was a
didn't get to
slot
play
guy
during the
though. You lost
postseason.
Robert Woods, and then Von Jefferson's not healthy yet, and those are
Yeah,
your two
so
slot guys.
right, and then you got Van Jefferson's not healthy, so there's a chemistry situation where Sean McVay is still trying to figure out how all these pieces fit during this. And I don't even think it has any. Again, I think I said this last week. I don't think it has anything to do with preseason and them not playing because you're still practicing together. You're still going through these nuances and all the different things that you're supposed to get the game plan. So I don't think it's all this hangover and all this they need to. I just think it's a chemistry situation where
Okay.
they're still, and somebody else said this. I'm not sure what it might have been Shannon Sharp when he was talking to Skip. Skip, Skip. Now let me tell you right here, Skip. So, so Shannon Sharp said it. I think Shannon Sharp said it where he's talking about chemistry. It's more about chemistry versus all this
Okay.
other stuff, and I think that's what it is. I think they're trying to figure out, and that's what he said, identity. They're trying to find their
Yeah,
identity
that's
because
the
this
word.
is literally not the same team.
Yeah,
Defensively,
that's the word.
you still have the front and the back, but the middle's different, and the
Yeah.
middle's better because they haven't had a tight end to do any work these past 2 weeks. Not even not even Buffalo.
Yeah.
Tight ends might have well had sat down because they got knocked totally out of the game. Um, I think the run game is a little bit better, and I don't know how we got on the Rams. I really didn't
No.
try to do that this time,
No,
but it's
no,
just,
no. I'm glad you
but
got on the Rams because let's talk about the others. Talk about the other Super Bowl team right quick.
oh my
And
gosh, what is happening?
yeah, let's talk about them, and then I'm gonna
We're gonna
talk a
go
little
into
bit about the Saints, and then we'll move on to our rookies. Um, the Bengals. Okay, the Rams issue is chemistry. We get
an
that. Their team has
identity.
changed a lot. Well, identity. Their
Yeah,
team has
I,
changed a lot.
yeah, both
New
identity and
Orleans
chemistry.
is issue as I think they have a kind of a similar issue with that and Jameis being injured, playing injured, which he should have been playing this week.
Yeah,
And yeah, he's got all these weapons now, but Alvin Kamara's not doing nothing.
Alvin
Ida
Kamara's
Thomas
hurt.
shows up in the middle, like towards the end of the game.
Yeah,
Everybody in the
uh,
middle is not helping Jameis out. I think that team's trying to figure out their identity too. And
yeah.
they might, but the one that honestly, and I didn't believe in Super Bowl hangover when they were talking about the Saints having Super Bowl hangover back in 2010 when they lost to Seattle in the playoffs.
That was
But
bounty hangover.
yeah, there's still bounty game.
My bad.
I was still bound to get it. Hadn't got the whistle blown on it yet. But I honestly believe I don't know how the Cincinnati Bengals get worse than they were last year. Joe Mixon can't do what he was doing. Jamar Chase is still doing his thing, but he's not producing as much as he should be. Joe Burrow is running for his life every time he turns around. I mean, the dude can't stand in the pocket for no longer than 1 minute, 1 second. He's either getting sacked or he's got to run out to the sidelines because they coming for him.
Yeah.
The Bengals honestly believe have serious issues. If they don't, and it starts the offensive line. If they don't fix that, they're gonna have to make another. They're gonna lose another quarterback. They're gonna run another quarterback out of town, like they did Carson Palmer, like they did Andy Dalton. They're gonna run Joe Burrow out of town because they're not protecting him. So, do you think the Bengals is it a chemistry issue? Is it a hangover issue? Is it how do they get worse? I think
Okay,
they just
theirs
I
is
just
not
don't know.
identity. I think theirs is not identity because they pretty much have the same team they had last year.
Yeah, it really
With
hasn't
the
changed.
of course with the exception of a few people on the offensive and defensive lines because they allegedly upgraded
The offensive
the
line,
offensive lines and the defensive line.
but Joe Burrow is been sacked the career season high right now.
You know
It's only
what?
been 2 games,
I'm gonna throw out a little bit of
and they're
grace
0-2.
for I'm gonna throw out a little bit of grace for Cincinnati and Los Angeles. And here's the grace. Because they played the way that they did, what the other coaches that aren't playing, what do they have to do? Nothing but study. You study. One, you take the run from the rest of the little bit of the run game from the Rams away, then it's pretty much Cooper Cup.
Yeah,
When you apply pressure to Joe Burrow and take into account the speed of Jamar Chase, and then and especially if you have a decent secondary. So, and I haven't even included the second level. I'm talking about the first level and the third level with your defensive linemen and your secondary. If you can get them in that particular way, then you make Joe Mixon beat you, and then you stop them that way. So far, it looks like all of the teams have studied the Rams,
yeah.
studied Cincinnati, to see what to do to them. And then as far as like teams like Indianapolis goes, theirs most definitely is a chemistry situation. It made the second week made the first week look like a fluke. Um, with how Matt Ryan uh
You
was
talk about
able to play with Michael Pittman and
yeah,
so on,
Indianapolis.
and Jonathan Taylor. The run
Indianapolis
game
is
was
another team looking
on,
for their
the pass
identity.
game was on, and so I think it's a combination of, but like I said, I throw a little grace out there because the teams are basically looking, and you got to also look at this too, not necessarily the Bills, I think, but like some of these teams, okay, the coaching tree thing. So when you look at Green Bay, there's a little bit of Sean McVay. You look at Cincinnati, there's a little bit of Sean McVay. And it was just like back in the day when you had Bill Belichick and his tree. Romeo Crennel would go out, and even Josh McDaniel would go out, and Josh McDaniel now in Las Vegas. What is Las Vegas right now?
0-2.
0-2.
I think so.
Jo- Josh McDaniel. So you're
Let
looking
me look
at
it up.
basically you're looking at the Patriots in Las Vegas. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, like and people are throwing shade on Josh McDaniels already, and yeah, they're 0-2. They're the only
Yeah,
0-2 team in their West.
yeah. So it people
But
are
theirs is coming
they're
down to
noticing.
situation football, man. They should have never blew the lead to Arizona this week.
So
Arizona was dead in the water. There's no way they should have come back to that game. They
man,
let them back in that game. They just
I
said
would
we
never,
won.
I would never ever sleep on these. Like for real, this season is the no sleep season. Do
Yeah.
not sleep on any team. The NFC, at least the teams on the NFC, should look at the other teams in the NFC and say, I'm not sleeping on any of these teams. I'm not
They should
sleeping on
all be
Detroit.
taken very seriously.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on Detroit. I'm not sleeping on Michigan. I mean Minnesota. I'm not
Because of
sleeping
the
on.
NFC being so wide open right
Yeah,
now, everybody should be
I'm
taking
not
it.
sleeping on any of these teams.
All right, folks, we'll
So
be right back. We're going to take a short break and we'll talk rookies and picks early.